يا رب إنك مقصودي ومعتمدي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد الصادق الأمين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We'll receive some questions now, try to answer them, and then inshallah we'll carry on with the text. Inshallah. Okay.
So, how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala debase with the Quran?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
He bases people, but how does he debase people with the Quran?
have to put them down. Okay. Because the one who, for sure, on all aspects of this life, when anyone is charged, let's say in the court, the first question to ask him, did you know it or not? Right? The one who is familiar and knowing the matter is going to be punished or blamed much more. Okay, and here in the same pattern, the one who was given this favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he did not care about it, or did not, even though he is much more knowledgeable than the others, about it, is going to be more blamed, about it, unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him. So this is the general. Allahumma ja'alu hujjatan lana wa la taj'alu hujjatan alayna. Other questions? Carry on. Yes?
You mentioned earlier on about the Quran going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and saying, I don't want to stay with people. Could you please elaborate on the context of that? Like, is that towards the end of time, or is that...
Yes. Yeah, this is one of the one of the signs, of the hereafter. As breaking down the Kaaba and taking the Quran back and reading it. Other questions? Okay, we'll carry on, inshallah. We are in chapter 3, honoring the book of the Quran and the prohibition of annoying them. And as you may say, the first two chapters, even the first chapter was how they are going to be treated from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's side. Here, he instructs us how we should treat them, how we should look at them, how we should be with them, in this life. And firstly, he brought this verse from the Quran, and he who reverse what God has deemed sacred, that is better for him with his Lord. As we said before, that فهو خير لذلك حرمات الله فهو خير له عند ربه. This is in the same surah of ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله, and this considered as حرماتullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are sacred, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala scale, and we, out of our love, out of our slavery to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should show a lot of respect to this. I would rather say, as some scholars they said, it's not that great, to show your humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the slave or the human cannot stand, in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So easily you are going to do it. The greatness, it comes when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to put yourself down for someone and you practice it. Okay, here it comes. Okay, for example, parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخْفِضْ لَهُمَ جَنَاحَ. Put yourself down, for parents. The parents, they are human beings like you. They may be mistaken, they may speak wrong, they may be this or that, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to put yourself down. Here it tells you about your real sincerity, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to put yourself down for a human being like you, and you are going to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not, doesn't mean a lot, you know, when you put yourself down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because everyone's going to put himself down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It means a lot when you have it done toward a person who is from outside or as a nature is similar to you, know. And one of these people are the holder of the Holy Quran. Okay, and here the Imam Al-Nawawi start this chapter, you know, by this verse from the Quran. Consider the holder of the Quran as Hurumatillah, and this is which should be highly respected. This is what they call nowadays the VIP, you know, persons, you know, or matters in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala scale, and we should take care, significant care of this. And another one, and lower your wing to those believers who follow you. For sure, the one who is addressed here or was addressed here is the Prophet ﷺ. And if he was instructed to do so, how I'm going to speak about myself, how I'm going to practice it, you know. I should put myself way down for those who are followers of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is in indirect way tell you how you respect the word that you have. And whenever you hold this word, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and you highly respect and highly take good care of everyone who has the same word in his heart, this in indirect way tell that you really show the significant respect and you really love this word, you know. Otherwise, if you did not do so, if you treated the Muslim badly, you know, and treated the other good, you know, that's mean you don't have any recognition, you know, about the value of this word, you know. You don't even know what's the meaning behind it, okay? And in my view, I may be completely wrong. Those who show this significant respect to this word and the holder of this word, inshallah, the expectation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to take away this word from them, okay? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to change a favor given to anyone till they change what inside themselves, okay? And by the same way, when you have this full greatness and respect to this word and the people of this world, the high expectation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to take it away from you. Those who doesn't have the recognition of this word and they don't respect the people of this world the way they should be respected, then I'm not telling you that it's going to be taken away, but there is a high possibility or probability that this is going to be taken away. And this is what has been termed as Su'ul Khatima. And was the Prophet ﷺ gave us the warning about it, that a person may be born as Muslim. Most of his life he was a Muslim, and at the end he's going to be passed away as non-Muslim. Okay, how come? This is perhaps all in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hands, but this is one of the major reasons, at least in my understanding. Okay, and that's why we should be too careful about these matters. We should be in full recognition and awareness about the favor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, being Muslim, being saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, being a servant of the Qur'an, and by this, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not take it away from you. And as he brought, Sayyidina Imam Nawawi brought this verse here to make it, this is not only for special people, this is for the common people of Islam. You should have the same instruction which was given to the Prophet ﷺ, to put down your wings to those believers who follow you, who follow the Prophet ﷺ, not follow me, not necessarily to follow me, no. Those who follow the Prophet ﷺ, we should put our wings down to them. Okay. And here he reminded us of the hadith of Abu Mas'ud al-Ansari about the one who deserved to lead the prayer, which mentioned in the previous chapter, and by this we know that one of the most noble position in this life to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have this relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for sure, as Hanafi, in particular, the Hanafi, they will keep silent, they are not going to speak anything. The one who is going to speak in behalf of all of them, the one who is in the front. And who is going to be in the front, to speak in our behalf. And this unique, noble, sophisticated position that we have, the Prophet ﷺ instructed us to assign a person, gave us certain description, and by this we know for sure the Prophet ﷺ, when he told us, as if he told us about the best among us, to come forward, and be speak in behalf of all of us, and this by itself, why to have this person, not the others? Because the expectation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have more acceptance of the dua, of the supplication, of the dua, of the prayer, of prostration, of bowing, and name it. When you have this in the front, and by this it means in indirect way that those people, they are much more accepted than the common Muslim, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's standard. And when we know that they are more accepted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means they should be more respected and more accepted by us in this way. And he mentioned also Hadith Ibn Abbas about those who were well chosen, to sit with Umar bin Khattab and give him the good consultation or good advice about whatever he is exposed to, in the matter of this life. Why Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab is doing this? Because he felt that those people, since they are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they are the holder of the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give them the full support, the full guidance in all aspects of their life. And this has been highlighted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yusuf when he said, قُلْ, addressing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِ, this is my way. أدعو إلى الله, invite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. I'm going to be in significant guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anyone who follow me is going to have the same guidance or same basira from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and that's why the Prophet, as Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab, he used to get those bright ideas, those pioneer matters, from such a people, and this is reminded me that even the Prophet ﷺ praised this action from Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab, and he said, you are going to find after me many new coming matters, and the most beloved to me of them, those who were established during Umar ibn Khattab time. Okay, and the Prophet ﷺ praised, if he praised the result or the outcome of the time of Umar ibn Khattab, I understand it in an indirect way that he praised the way he collected it. How did Umar ibn Khattab? Did Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala, Sayyidina Umar did not receive revelation, okay? But in a smart way, he got the help and the support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by consulting such type, of people who are going to be completely guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he brought this hadith. We should look at it, try to understand it, very carefully, and try to practice it in our life. I think it's too easy whenever we put in mind that we have no other choice except to follow the instruction of our Prophet. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu stated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, exalting God subhanahu wa ta'ala includes giving honor to the grey-haired Muslim to whomever bears the Qur'an without exceeding its proper bounds or shunning it, and any person of authority who acts justly. Okay, and this is the Prophet ﷺ put it in the form. If you want to show your respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show exalting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how we are going to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّكُمْ لَن تَبْلُغُوا ضَرِّي فَتَضُرُّونِ. You are way far, of causing any harm or any benefit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how I'm going to show my exaltation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By this, okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, as I said before, these are humankind like you. They are slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to put yourself down in this position. And this is the best way of telling that this person really is a real servant or real slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not by making ruku' and sujood, no. Because you see, in the hereafter, when all the gathering, they know that this is Allah, all of them, they want to make sujood, and they are going to be prohibited of making prostration to Allah subhanahu, except those who got the experience of prostrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life. Okay, so it's not big deal, to make prostration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The big deal to put yourself down to those humankind look like you, equal to you, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to put yourself down toward them. And the Prophet ﷺ, in this particular hadith, he highlighted 3 of these items that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to show His Majesty subhanahu wa ta'ala on you by putting you down in front of these 3. Who are they? The one who got old, or they have the gray hair, okay, and the one who is a holder or companion of the Qur'an, and he gave this description, that the one who go in a moderate way, not in any of these 2 extremes, and this is remind us how the Prophet ﷺ used to cut down for those who are too enthusiastic, to pray, like Sayyidina Amr ibn al-As, he used to recite the Quran every night, and the Prophet ﷺ started cutting down for him, till he made it, after long discussion, within 3 days to finish the Quran. Okay, and here in this hadith, he highlighted ﷺ, the one who is moderate. What do we mean by this? Because all of us, we have a lot of rights, rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and rights of those surrounding us, the family, the parents, the children, the wives, and you name it, and we should hold the responsibility of all of those matters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them an obligation and a burden on us, and it's not good to take yourself away, and just fix your relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested you by these other beauties that has been made for you, to see how you are going to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this regard. In another way, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you should go the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to go, not the way you want to go. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, a person, a companion, passed through a very nice area, okay, a lot of greens, and there's a stream of water, spring of water, and you name it. And he said, how great is this area? I'm going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, just stay alone, get rid of everyone, and stay here, worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is better than worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then he said, I'm not going to do it till I ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam rejected this. He said, no, you should get yourself involved, with your people, with your community. If I want to take it, to our time, really I have a lot of problems that I see these faces, all of you highly respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are out of this you are going inshallah to have very perfect prayer, very perfect fasting, and those who are rich among you, they are going to pay their charity, and you name it, But we have this problem. We don't respect each other. We tend to be unjust with each other. Okay? We don't care about the others. Whereas, as we have been told by the Prophet ﷺ, this is a major negative problem for you in the hereafter. Not your problem with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving, the most merciful subhanahu wa ta'ala. But your problem when you are stuck, with a person similar to you, and you seek his forgiveness. And as in this life, we are smart enough, to know how to live in this life, As in this life, by certain payment, you are going to please the others, And the hereafter, to make this person, forgive you, you should give him something. In the hereafter, no pounds, no dollars, no gold, nothing, But you are going to pay him. You are going to pay him from your hasanat, from your good deeds. In some occasion, as the Prophet ﷺ said, nothing left. This person came with mountains of hasanat, and all of them, they were taken away from him because he's paying, his brother and his sister and his father, and you name it, And then at last, you have a person came, oh Allah, I want my right. Allah Ta'ala, nothing left, here, no hasanah, no more hasanah. Oh Allah, let him carry some of my sayyi'at. And when the Prophet ﷺ said so, his tears start to come down, start crying, okay? Because really this is a very tough position. We heard it now, but those person, who are standing there, and for very trivial matter, he may go to hellfire, by it. Really, it means a lot. Really, it's serious matter. Really, it's dangerous matter. So, please, don't wait till you go to hereafter. From now, fix all your problems, Okay? Fix your problems with everyone. If someone gave you money, return it back now. Okay? If someone has right on you, return. Don't backbite anyone. When you backbite anyone, tell him that I'm sorry, I did speak badly, about you, and I highly apologize, okay? And you name it, okay? And that's what the Prophet ﷺ instructed us. اتقوا الله وأصلحوا ذات بينكم. Try to mend those problems and these breaks, in this life. Don't wait till the hereafter, because really it's going to be too harmful and too difficult, And for many persons, for just one word, or very trivial action, he may be taken all the way to the hellfire for this. And here in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ highlighted 3 of those major figures, that we should have a lot, of respect to them, Firstly, the elderly. Secondly, the holder of the Holy Qur'an. And thirdly, the one who is in charge, of anything, who act justly, in this matter. And here Sayyidah Aisha narrated that the Prophet ﷺ ordered us to treat people according to their due rank. Okay. Again, I'm sorry to say, I don't want to be that critical, otherwise you'll kick me out, then. but this is our tradition nowadays, okay? We have high figures and we have low figures. How in our communities this match with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants? I don't think so. Okay. Let me bring this story to make it more clear to you. This has happened, yani, subhanAllah, it happened in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If it happened once in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think in our time it happened frequently, all morning and all evening, okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with his companion, and a person passed through. And the Prophet ﷺ asked the companion, what do you think about this person? The person, oh, this is very high figure. This is, if he came, we should find a high place and good place for him. If he starts speaking, everyone should listen to him. If he consider to get married from a family, they should have full acceptance, of him. The Prophet did not say this. After a while, and then another person came or passed through, did not come to the majlis, but he passed. And he said, what do you think about this person? This person, if he entered, we shouldn't give him good place. If he starts speaking, no one should listen to him. And if he wants to get married, he deserves to be rejected, not accepted. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I swear by the one, my soul in his hand, this person weigh the full globe, of the other person. And by this we should be too careful about those matters, okay? If you don't know the other person, don't put him down. Show him the full respect, because he says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, okay? And whenever you know the inners, the whole matter is going to be changed, okay? And this is what has been paid to my attention recently, that Sayyidina Salman al-Farisi said, Man aslaha juwaniyahu aslaha Allahu barraniyah. If you want to have the good deeds, from outside, and to be energetic all the time, and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what we should do? We should fix the inner, okay? Aslaha juwaniyahu, okay? And by this, what do you mean? Firstly, we should have pure heart to all Muslims. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised Sadatun al-Muhajirin al-Ansar, He praised al-Muhajirin, the immigrant, in one verse. And He praised al-Ansar, they translate the helper, their name is al-Ansar, in another verse. Then, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started praising who came later on, including ourselves, subhanahu wa ta'ala did not find anything good in our deeds except two items. Okay, and we should fix these two items, very well. Otherwise, nothing to be praised about, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's scale. You may be praised by many persons, and by many high figures, but you are not praised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the two items that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised you with. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بَعْدِهِمْ, those who came later on, يَقُولُونَ, they make dua, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَ بِالْإِيمَانِ. And what is the second component? And don't put any negative or ill feeling in our heart toward any believer. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will praise us with, and we should be too careful about it. And in another word, I see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to put his wing down to all of his followers, how he strived sallallahu alaihi wasallam to protect people, of getting to hellfire, And he gave an example about it, like when a person set a fire, and those insects and the other flies, they try to drop, in this water and this fire, and the person try to take them away. This is the way the Prophet ﷺ behaved, and this is should be our behavior. I'm sorry to tell you, nowadays, we don't set fire, we set fire in them, we try to burn them, and push them hardly, push them all the time, to hellfire, and another word, in my view or in my sight, I see as if people, they work exactly the opposite of the work of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wants everyone to get in. Even sometimes he may bypass a major matter, of the pillars of Islam, just to make people accepting his invitation, okay? And he always gives a good tidings. We spend all of our time, speaking about each other, attacking each other, and we don't see the Muslim problem that we suffer nowadays in this country or elsewhere. Here you have a lot of problems, and you hardly hear anyone speak about these problems. We only speak about our differences, about our dispute, about this and that. And the worst among us who call the other side as kafir. Okay? So we should be too careful about those matters. And really, about this hadith, try to have this open-minded, how we should respect the others, how we should have the highest respect of your word. Your word is La ilaha Muhammadur Rasulullah. And since this is, just, I cannot imagine any of us, can imagine himself without this word. Myself without this word, La ilaha illallah, na'udhu billah min dhalik, Muhammadur Rasulullah, I'm not going to be a human being. I'm going to be an animal, or much worse than that. So I cannot imagine myself for one moment in this life without this word. And as it has this importance to me, it has the same importance for all other. Okay, for the other fellows, even though I may not like this person, or I'm not that good, in understanding the other person's behavior, but this is the way it should be looked. And sorry, to go out, a famous sheikh, he used to hate a person. And he said, I used to hate this person because he used to hate a famous wali called Abu Madian. And I'm well knowledgeable about Abu Madian and about the rank of Abu Madian. It's very famous sheikh. And he dreamt about the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ asked him, why do you hate so and so? He said, Oh Rasulullah, because he hates Abu Madian, I hate him. Why did you hate him? Because he hates Abu Madian, and you did not love him because he loves Allah and His Messenger? But I'm going to answer. Why did you hate him? Because he hates Abu Madian, and you did not love him because he loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger? And this person, this sheikh, he will feel submission, say Jazakallah khairan, I'm going to change. And next day he has a gift, in his hand, and he went to that person and say, I'm sorry, really I was sorry. But the point here, what was the point, What's the greatness about this story? That because of his behavior, this person, he was the wasita to mend the relation between Abu Madian and that person again. Okay? It's easy, and we may feel it's good, to have this person hate Abu Madian and go to hellfire, But by this action from this particular person, he mend the relation between Abu Madian. Okay? And this is part of your task. My task and your task, we are responsible for all Muslims, to find a way of mending their relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is your task. It's too easy, So in the hellfire, okay. So start sending people, to hellfire now, okay. And it's easy to speak about it in this life. It's too difficult and too harmful for me in the hereafter, because if he doesn't deserve this, I'm going to go to hellfire, not that person, okay. Whereas those who care, who are real lovers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they try to find out way of building bridges, mending problems, try to make the Muslim, come together, This is, I take it, I think, I think all of those matters I spoke about, it included under the title here, Exalting Allah Most High. Okay? If you really want to exalt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, It's good to say Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, it's good. Okay, but here you are only used your tongue, you know. But the best among us, the one who used everyone's tongues, you know, exalting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, about the coming hadith, to treat people according to their rank, their due rank. Okay. Firstly, this shouldn't come in the negative way. Okay. It's not your authority to put anyone down. Okay. You should have full respect, you know, in the heart to all Muslims. I would rather say, as someone said, whenever you meet with anyone, you should feel yourself that you are the worst. And this is the reality, because you know about your sins, you know, much more than anyone else sins. Okay? And then, you know, Sadatna al-Awliya radiallahu anhum, nowadays they are too tricky, you know. They may pretend like a person, you know, without cap, okay, or a person with something, you know, that, oh my God, what's going on with this person, you know, and he may be wali to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when you do this to him, you know, you are in very difficult time, you know. And even for the Muslim, the ordinary Muslim, you know, yani here, when you don't give the respect to the Muslim, you are not on the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ, because the Prophet ﷺ was instructed, put down your wings to those who follow you. Jabir bin Abdullah said that the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, this we mentioned this hadith, that when the Prophet ﷺ give the priority when they start to bury those Sadatun Shuhada Uhud, that he is going to be put in front, you know, of the grave. You see, and here, this trivial matter that who is going to come first and who is going to come later tells us about how our etiquette, our attitude in this life should match what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. How the priority in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's scale should be the priority in my life. Okay? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves more should be loved for me more. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives preference for, I should give preference for. Okay? And that's why many of the companions, they said that they used to ask the Prophet ﷺ, what is the best thing to do? If I have Laylatul Qadr, what should I say? If this happened, you see, this was one of their major concerns, you know, to ask what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like or would love to have from me or expecting from me. I think we'll move to next chapter, number 4. Page 91. He started here about the etiquettes of the teachers. Okay. And I think this is one of the mainstay or one of the major part which is too important, you know. Why? Because the teacher of Qur'an, even though he may not inside be as such, but if he did it out of his respect to Qur'an and to impress everyone to respect Qur'an, is going to have significant role in this. And I keep repeating this story, you know, because really I admire it a lot, you know, about that sheikh, you know, who want to have some transportation, you know, from one area to another with his things, you know, and when he had the deal, you know, with the driver or whoever, you know, then he paid him more than the deal. And even though he's too poor, this sheikh, you know, and when he was asked about it, he said, I don't want anyone to have wrong idea about the shuyukh. Gave him much more. He gave him more. In the same way, even if I am the worst person ever, you know, I shouldn't deliver to my children those that they want to learn Quran from me. I shouldn't give them the ugly side of myself. Okay, I should cover it up, just not out of a hypocrisy. No, not to let the others learn their lesson, from my bad behavior. And this is in similar way, it's applicable to the parents. Some of the parents, they come and complain about their children. And I think the children, they are too smart. Okay? To tell them, go and pray. Go and do this and that. This is not going to impress him a lot. It's going to look at you, what you are doing, how do you live in this life, okay? And he knows the trick, that you should speak in one way and behave in another way, okay? According to you. Whereas, when he see how great is the Qur'an in your heart, and how great is to keep up the time of prayer in your heart, and regardless of how busy you are going to forget everything to set up the prayer time, and not missing it, Even with few words, or perhaps without words, is going to understand the way you want him to understand. Okay, so that's why the teachers of the Quran, they should be too careful, about those matters. And this chapter, any one of you, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in this position, in this critical position, that he is going to be looked at from the others, and they are going to behave according to his behavior, he should be too careful about those matters. Even if you like this drink, if this may mean something, negative, bypass it now. Go against your desire. Get another drink, okay? Even if you are too tired, just keep up, little bit, and try to be straight, and little bit, go against yourself, not to let anyone, have wrong idea or wrong message given to you, given to him by you, Okay, this is it, and this is the way we live at. When we say teacher, even if you are teacher of your Quran, they are going to look at on all of how do you walk, how do you speak, how do you look, how do you laugh, and you name it. And by this is you should be careful about all of these matters. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you this rank, even though you may deserve it or not deserve it, you should work according to it. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يحب أن يكون أصحابه كالشامة بين الناس. Okay? He brought no message. What a message! The greatest message given to us by the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. And those companions around him, they are his representative. They are the one who's going to show the others. And he would like those around him to be in the best shape ever, wherever they go. Alhamdulillah, today we have been granted, by mentioning Sayyidina al-Khattab a lot. Even Sayyidina al-Khattab, in his time, he used to prohibit some of the companions of doing something which is halal. He'll tell, so don't do this. Is this haram? He said, no, this is not haram, but you are people, you are looked at, and the successor and the comer, they are going to look through you. That's why I prohibit you of doing this, even though this is not haram. This is what the behavior of Sayyidina al-Khattab. Even he will not let companion go out Medina, He has a lot of duties, They should teach people in Syria and in Iraq, and teach Qur'an. And all the time they ask him, send so and so. And he will send some of them, but in very regular way and very conservative way, to make the companion has the greatest respect, among those successors, So here the etiquette of the teachers of the Quran. Okay, let's see what the intention. Okay, I First he spoke about the inner, as we said about Sayyidina Salman al-Farsi, whoever fix his inner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to fix his outer. Okay, and this is the first step we should have. Why I want to be teacher of Quran? Why I want to have ijazah? Because in Mawlid I would like to have everyone listen to me, and I'm going to sit on the stage and they are going to say Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Those people, you know, as the Prophet ﷺ said, they are going to be the first group to be sent to hellfire in the hereafter. Yes, it's not a matter of joke. We are not kidding here. Okay, you have this valuable item called Al-Quran. It's not to be used, you know, to sit on the stage and to have the front row and this and that, you know. It's much more serious than this, you know. This is the robe descended from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hold it. To hold to it? No, not only to hold it, to make everyone hold to it. وَالَّذِينَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ يُمَسِّكُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ. What's the meaning وَالَّذِينَ يُمَسِّكُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ? They are steadfast holding this, and they make the others hold the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ يُمَسِّكُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ. See, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, you know, when He descended this Quran to us, you know, to not to hold still, hold steadfast to it, no, to let everyone around us, you know, have the same attitude. And this is my duty and your duty. Okay, so that's why Sayyidina Imam Nawawi highlighted the first step. What is it? To have the pure intention, you know, about the Quran. Why I want to be the companion of the Quran. I'm not going to